Welcome back everyone. Thank you for joining me today as we take a quick look at Nintendo's second Game & Watch of the Gold series. Called Headache in Great Britain and Helmet in the rest of the world. This was the 7th handheld issued by Nintendo. But before we look at today's focus, I'd like to quickly answer last episode's What in the World? The question is simple. Can you identify this Nintendo item from the sliver of a photograph? Hopefully you saw it to be what it was, a Game Boy Light. This was essentially a front-lit Japanese Game Boy Pocket. As I've mentioned previously, this console, like all the items we showcase, will get their own episode in the fullness of time, so stay tuned. And let's jump straight into our star of this show, the Game & Watch helmet. Dressed in a fetching color of deep maroon, the plastic case offsets the gold fascia plate to near perfection. The game was first offered for sale on February 21, 1981, and went on to become a top-selling game. The helmet variant sold an estimated 1 million copies, marking this game title out as amongst the most popular titles of the entire range. On the other hand, and into stark contrast to the massive seller that helmet turned out to be, Headache. The game that Great Britain received was the complete opposite. The distributor was a company known as Computer Games Limited, or CGL. As the name Helmet can be seen as inappropriate, the name Headache was chosen instead. However, it did give rise to a unique variation within the Game & Watch fraternity that is as much a curiosity as it is a rarity. There was never a printed Headache information booklet published, all examples still read Helmet. And furthermore, the gameplay between the two models remained identical. The unit name and box, however, are marked Headache. This is a fact which clearly differentiates Headache as a collector's item from its mainstream, and much more common version of the game, Helmet. In point of fact, I suggest that Headache is the rarest of all Game & Watches ever sold. The figure estimates a total sales allotment of only 6,000 units. This is an incredibly low number. To underscore its rarity, I've chosen to show some other Game & Watch units that are today considered rare by collectors. Firstly, we see Mario the Juggler, sold an estimated 250,000 units. Next, I'll show the Game & Watch called Balloon Fight. Shown here is the crystal screen version in green. Even so, this unit sold an estimated 250,000 units. The Game & Watch named Simply Egg is considered rare today, but again sold an estimated 250,000 units. Much like the equally rare Game & Watch, from the beautiful Panorama series of handheld games. This one pictured being called Donkey Kong Circus. Sold an impressive 250,000 units. Even if we consider the Discom unit known as YM901S. Which was never actually sold, but was a prize in a Nintendo tournament. And treat that as a baseline for rarity. It too had an estimated production run of 10,000 units. So I do not believe that it is hyperbole to say that this is the rarest production Game & Watch ever made. Period. Some details. Both Helmet and Headache carried the model code CN-07. Some info about inserting the button cell batteries and technical specs on setting the time complete this page. A little more info on how to set the alarm on the Game & Watch was given and expanded upon, likely due to this being a relatively new function on this system. In Game Mode A, we see a construction worker wearing his hard hat. OSHA will be pleased to see this, I'm sure. Remember safety first. Exiting the worksite, which is on the left of our screens, and try to make his way to the work shed on the right. Sounds easy, doesn't it? And I'm sure it would be if it was not for two small things. Firstly, there's a whole bunch of tools and wrenches falling randomly from the sky. Secondly, the door to the shed opens and closes randomly too. This is a problem because if a tool hits our construction worker on the head, we lose a point, and just to make it difficult, we can often find the shed door closed as we near it, and just when we need it open the most. Game Mode B differs in two main ways. The tools will begin to fall faster as the game progresses, and if that's not difficult enough, the shed door will only open for shorter and shorter periods of time. These two changes takes a challenging game to an almost insane level. It can appear to be literally raining hammers, screwdrivers, pails and wrenches at times. When you consider the fact that your escape into the shed starts to become blocked more frequently, then you'll see why this is a tough nut to crack. As with many Game & Watch games, the maximum score is 999. As a bonus, or a small form of mercy, every time a player achieves either 200 or 500 points, any lost lives will be erased. This game has some similarities, or I could say some echoes of the mega game that was called Space Invaders. You know it shares that similar feeling of dodging and weaving items falling from above. I like this game, especially as there is literally nowhere to hide once you are here. Well, there's our little snapshot of gameplay. We then have the usual cautions guidelines and the various warnings. Interestingly noting that they have evolved in every issue of the game and watches Nintendo's technical writing team learn a little bit more on articulating gaming guidelines. I'm always amazed at the mixed American English and British English terminology that are used. I see here the use of the word trousers instead of pants, whereas I've seen several American terms used in other areas. This underscores, in my opinion, the infancy of Nintendo's technical team in their early years. Considering the fact that this Gold series was released back in 1981, and the Famicom, with its classic coloring would not be released for a further 2 years, you really have to ask, did Nintendo get their iconic Famicom color scheme from these games instead? This just about wraps up our little look at the two versions of the Game & Watch known as either Helmet or Headache. I hope the presentation was enjoyable. Now it's time to look at this episode's little brain teaser we call, What in the World? Can you make it out yet? Please feel free to write your guesses in the comments section below. Or, better still, join me in our next episode to see the big reveal. This is the RCS Gaming channel signing off. Join us next episode where we'll complete the Gold series of Game & Watches. As always, please like, follow and subscribe to encourage us to keep going. We've planned a long journey that'll need all the help it can get. Thanks for watching.